friends, welcome back to another video. This video is quite special to me because today we're going to be doing all things Day of the Dead. For folks who are new here, hi, my name is Kim. I am an author as well as an illustrator, and I love making content here that is cozy, bookish, artish, and just lifestyle-ish. I am also Mexican, so I like to share tidbits about my culture on here as well. And Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is a huge holiday for us. And right now during this time of year, which is typically the end of October, we start prepping our ofrendas, aka our altars, where we will be putting pictures of our past loved ones in order to honor their memory. So I'm gonna be doing all of that in that video, but right now we're actually gonna go to this festival. It is a Day of the Dead festival locally here near us, and they're gonna have food, they're gonna have vendors, they're gonna have people dressing up, there's gonna be dancing, and it just seems like it's gonna be a really good time. I've never gone to this festival, so it's gonna be my first time going, so I'm super excited. And when we come back from that, I am thinking of starting my crafts. I have a couple ideas that I want to create because we need to set up my ofrenda. In my culture, we celebrate the Day of the Dead between November 1st and November 3rd, but a couple of days before that, we start setting everything up. So this video is gonna be all about that, just setting up my ofrenda and how I do it, doing some cozy crafts, and who knows what else we'll get into. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. I was so excited to find this print at the festival that we just went to because, as you all can see, I actually have some of these books. I also got these stickers from the same artist. She is an illustrator who's based also in the Bay Area. This is a little pan dulce, a little sweet bread, which is a traditional bread in my Mexican culture. And then this little el pato canned sauce that is being used as a flower bouquet, which I've done this plenty of times. It is no secret that in many Latin households, we use our sauce cans to make flower bouquets out of them. So that was so cute. Oh, I also got this little cute keychain from also the same artist. It just says, it's a little can that says California Love with some I think they're marigolds or maybe poppies. Yeah, I think they're poppies actually. So I think I'm gonna stick this somewhere. I don't know where, but this is the artist. She was so sweet, and she was just telling me how she's very inspired by her culture and her upbringing. And I always get so excited when I run into other illustrators that are local to me. I was too embarrassed to ask her if I could film her little booth, so I didn't, but it was so much fun. So I'm definitely gonna frame my new print. And I think for now I am losing light, but I think I'm still gonna go for it and paint this vase that I had said a couple of videos ago that I wanted to paint into a sugar skull head and maybe do some fake marigolds to put in here. I don't know. I'm still jotting up ideas, but I know I want to paint this into a sugar skull head. So I think I'm going to start doing that now before I lose even more light. So let's get started. Hi friends, it is the next morning. I had to stop what I was doing last night because I was losing a lot of light, and whatever I was filming, I'm pretty sure was going to come out super dark if I continued filming, so I didn't want to do that. So I had to stop and continue the next day. But I thought that I would just pop on here as a little voiceover and kind of tell you guys some of the things that I'm creating and why they are significant for an ofrenda, for an altar, in particular for an altar for Day of the Dead. But before I go forward with just giving you a little background of why I'm creating these certain elements for my ofrenda, I kind of want to go over with you and let you know what actually an ofrenda is and why we create an ofrenda, also known as an altar. So an ofrenda is meant to represent the remembrance of the departed, a sort of reminder that their life is forever eternal and present by keeping their stories alive, by talking about them, by honoring them, especially during this time of the year. And we usually celebrate it during this time of the year because it is said that during this time of the year, the veil between our world and the spirit world is the thinnest, meaning that it is easier for our deceased loved ones to come in contact with us or to cross the veil and come visit us in our world. So an ofrenda can carry a lot of things. And I personally believe that it doesn't have to have particular things in there. I think you can customize it however you want. I, of course, love putting pictures of past loved ones in my family. I also really love putting all the elements on the ofrenda, as in water, fire, earth, and air. And I do like little things I put around it to signify those elements. That's just something that I love doing personally. But only putting candles can work just fine as well. Right here, I am actually creating a sugar skull. And sugar skulls are a staple in ofrendas. And that is because sugar skulls represent a departed soul. It is said that back in the day, they used to create sugar skulls and write the name on the forehead of the skull of the deceased person and put it on an ofrenda, and that was supposed to honor the return of that particular spirit. So that's why you see a lot of sugar skulls because they're supposed to just signify the departed soul on the actual ofrenda. And I'm sure many of you have seen sugar skulls. They're just usually decorated with flowers and just little folklore Mexican petals and little vines. I decided to paint mine all black here and just do speckles of gold and brown and just rusty colors because those are the colors that I love. Here I'm going to start creating some marigolds from tissue paper, and this is actually very simple to make. You'll see the whole process right now, but you basically just fold a whole bunch of tissue paper together and you make a circle pattern on them, and then you staple them in the center, and then you cut them out, all the circles, and then you'll see in a little bit I'm going to start kind of snipping the edges of the circle all around. Just gonna start snipping and snipping all around, and then I'm gonna end up crunching each of the little layers up, and I'm gonna do it to each little layer of the circle, and you'll start seeing how it's gonna start forming into a little round ball. And initially this is how marigolds look. They look like little orange round fluffy balls, but they're so simple to do. You can put them on a little string and create a sort of garland. You can attach a little stick to make them look like actual flowers. Marigolds, also known as cempasúchiles in Spanish, are also a staple in ofrendas. And that is because marigolds are thought to attract the spirit of the deceased because of the marigold's potent smell all the way to the ofrenda. So families will often scatter marigold petals, forming a path from their front doors all the way to where they have their ofrenda. Another thing that I didn't create this year, but that is a staple for ofrendas, are the monarch butterflies. Monarch butterflies, I don't know if you've ever seen them in ofrendas before, or if you've gone to a Day of the Dead festival, you will always see a lot of monarch butterflies. And that is because the monarch butterflies, whenever they migrate, I believe from... don't quote me, I don't know geography like that, but whenever they migrate from somewhere in another part of the world, but they end up migrating to Mexico, and it just so happens that it lands during this time of the year, during Day of the Dead. So often in Mexico during this time of the year you will see a whole bunch of monarch butterflies, and that's because they're just migrating from wherever they came from to Mexico. And so it kind of became a traditional belief that the monarchs are the souls of ancestors who are returning to Earth for their annual visit. I just think that's so beautiful, and I have a fascination with monarch butterflies. I love drawing them, I love putting them everywhere, but this year I didn't have enough time in order to edit this video and create all the crafts I wanted to do to make monarch butterflies. So yeah, but I just wanted to mention it on here. Another staple thing that you can put on your ofrenda, that is a staple in Latin households, it is called pan de muerto, which means bread of the dead. And that is an essential item for the ofrenda, and that is because the bread is meant to nourish the dead when they return to the land of the living during Dia de los Muertos. And that is why I also love putting all the elements on my ofrenda, because you can put water, or you can put a favorite beverage of the deceased loved one who is returning. Maybe they loved tea or coffee or a particular alcohol drink. So you can also put those on your ofrenda. Honestly, anything that your past loved ones loved when they were living, maybe candies, a favorite food platter. It is traditional to create those or have those on your ofrenda. So it is the next day. It is also Halloween. Me and my mom started off by clearing this little shelf unit where we usually keep our spices. We're just throwing a sheet over it. You can use any color sheet. Usually folks use either a black one or a white one, but it's totally up to you. And I started by hanging the garland on our wall of marigolds that me and my mom created. We ended up decorating our ofrenda with just the pictures of our past loved ones, with the tissue paper marigolds that we created. And then later on, me and my family had a little Halloween celebration, so we all had to bring a little platter, a spooky platter. My sister was in charge of these cute burgers that she made. I made spooky drinks, and these are some of my eyeballs that I created, made out of leash fruit, I think it's called, and some blueberries. And then my sister, she made a little cheese board with Mr. Skeleton there, and it was such a fun time. I can't get over these burgers that my sister created. Oh, and these little mummy sausage wraps, they were so good, by the way. I ended up dressing up as Freddy Krueger and my husband as Jason and Dobie as Chucky. I'll put some pictures here. And here is how our ofrenda came out. I am so happy with how this came out. It is a very intuitive process, and I think it's really up to whoever's creating it, however they just want to do it. I did realize that the shelving unit that we're using here is actually kind of small for all the other elements that we want to add. So we might end up changing this around in the future. And yes, you can add your pets to your ofrenda. And here's how it looks at night. When all the lights are turned off, it just looks so beautiful. I think this is a great celebration for anyone. You do not have to be from this culture to create an ofrenda or to create an altar for your past loved ones. It is a great way to keep their memory alive, to celebrate them and their stories. I think it is beautiful when we celebrate our roots, we celebrate those who came before us. I just love this time of the year so much, and I just want to thank you all for watching and for letting me share a little bit about my culture with you all. I welcome you friends to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you have any questions about an ofrenda. I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But until then, take care, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.